Da 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 da. Jurassic World, a film that has been in development for quite some time. Also, is this a fitting shirt? I wore this to Jurassic World. It says me, Grimlock, kick butt. No, whatever. Anyways, Jurassic World. Well, where do we begin? Well, first off, let's start with the obvious fact that this film was in development hell for years. It's not Mad Max Fury Road level of development hell, but like since at least here, let me just pull up Jurassic Park 3. Since 2001. Yeah, that's how long this film's been in development for. So 14 years. Is it worth it? Kind of. Other reviews I've read for it, reviews have been fairly positive. Like, sort of like, yeah, it's a fun action film. Not really high in the substance aspect, but come on, I can't expect every film to be like, oh, look at this, we're a piece of substance. I just want to have fun with a movie. And this film does have a lot of fun. First off, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it is. It knows who its audience is, so I think that was great. Anyways, the park is open, now called Jurassic World instead of Jurassic Park. So John Hammett's dream is real. 22 years later, after the Isle Nublar incident, yeah, and at 22 years after, Bryce Dallas Howard is the basically the manager of the park, and it's open. It's been open for a while now, but people aren't really wowed by dinosaurs anymore. And I guess you could say that kind of is a bit of a metaphor, saying people aren't really wowed by special effects. Look, take like this: the first Jurassic Park, it very much had the wow factor. It was like CGI was a thing, but this was like, boom, that's what CGI could do. It can create fucking dinosaurs. But nowadays it's like we see CGI all the time. That's kind of why Mad Max Fury Road, that's why it was so just like, whoa, it's like practical effects and shit. That's why it kind of had such an impact, I guess, on people. I suppose. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Chris Pratt. Anyway, she sort of runs it all, and she and her team has created Frankensource, the Indominus Rex, which I think even Chris Pratt at one point kind of laughs, like, really, Indominus? What 4-year-old is gonna call it that? I think they had a different name, but whatever. Chris Pratt is a raptor tamer, as we've probably seen from all the trailers. We sit there going, really? He trains raptors? Actually, it is kind of neat. I mean, the scenes themselves look alright, but I do like his sort of methodology to how he is training them, sort of how he views them and whatnot. It's all interesting stuff. So the story starts off with these two kids, actually, Zach and Gray. Their aunt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Claire, she runs the park, they're going there for just a week or a weekend or something. They are sort of the, I guess, window-in characters, I suppose. The ones like, grade like 10 high school or something. The one's like 10 years old, 9 years old or something. The 9-year-old just like, he just loves dinosaurs. Gray, that's him. The kids themselves are okay, but I think the film focuses maybe just a little too much on them. And that is a bit of a complaint right off the bat. I think there are too many characters. You got Chris Pratt, who's like, the Velociraptor tamer. You got Bryce Dallas Howard, she manages the park. You got the two kids, and you got these two other people in the sort of control room running things. And you got this military guy. Then you got this other guy, and then another guy, and then two other guys, and then Omar Sy. And I made that all rhyme. Why? And at times I'm just like, who's who again? But once you figure it out fairly fast. The world is open, and but this Indominus Rex, of course, it gets loose. But the park is full of people, 22,000 people or something, or 2,000 people, a lot of people. And shit's gone to awry, and no one really knows what to do with this thing. It's genetically altered. It's something like 50 feet long from head to tail. they can't really stop this thing, so it's just like, what do we do? There's 2,000 people on this island. We got to do something. And while all this is happening, it keeps cutting back to what the two kids, Zach and Gray, are doing. Now, they're not bad kids. It's just like, did we really need so much attention on them? And this film had like 4 writers, and you can really see where like ideas were being thrown around. One scene in particular, I was just like, Jesus, that's fucking depressing. Light spoilers. It's like, they're going on, the scene, the exhibits and whatnot. And the one kid, the Zach, wait, is it Gray? I think. Hold on. Gray, the younger one, at one point he's going on saying, oh, Ma and Dad, they might be getting a divorce. It's the only time it's brought up in the film. I'm just like, what? What? I don't know. It just caught me off guard. I was just like, what? This wasn't shown at the beginning of the film. It wasn't shown. It's the only scene where it happens. So stuff like that, it's not a pace breaker. It's just like, that's a curveball. Chris Pratt, he's great in this. At times he becomes just a little bit, I guess, preachy. It's like, they're animals. They have feelings. They listen. They get harmed and shit. Bryce Dallas Howard, she does sort of develop a lot. Claire, she becomes a little more, she respects the dinosaurs a little more. But yeah, she's more of the business type person. And, Bryce Dallas Howard, I always thought she was good looking, but god damn, is she beautiful in this movie. One scene in particular, I'm just like, What's the whole thing? Everyone thinks she looks like Jessica Chastain. There's a clear distinction. I don't know what it is, but there's a distinction nonetheless. So Indominus Rex is running around. No one really knows what to do. It's like, we can't evacuate the park. There's 2,000 people there. There's no way we can get all these people out that fast. But shit starts going awry. And this Indominus Rex, it's sort of hinted at throughout the film what this thing is made out of. It's a regular T-Rex, but it also has like 6, 7 other species built into it, just to sort of increase the wow factor. So this thing is pretty deadly, to say the least. Anyways, there's also this one military guy who wants to use the trained raptors as sort of like weapons, really. Like, he's just like, imagine if these were in Tora Bora. I'm just like, do you have any idea how fucking dumb that sounds? You want to use dinosaurs as weapons? Why not robots and shit? Okay, so that is kind of brought up in the film, why they'd be good, but it's just like, well, who's going... Like, Chris Pratt can train them, but, like, he's the only one that can train them. Omar Sy, he's in the movie, too. He's the black guy. Doesn't die, though. Spoilers. But even he's just like, yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, I'm all over the place because the film does feel a little bit all over the place at times. As it starts going and we see more of the world, the Jurassic World of it all, it starts becoming a bit clearer. And, but I do agree with what Jeremy Johns said in that it feels more like a monster movie than a Jurassic Park movie. And admittedly, it doesn't have the same wow effect as Jurassic Park. Now, I've explained in the beginning saying, the whole visual effects thing, so there's that. Because Indominus is really just seen as a monster. It's like, we don't know how to stop it. It's just like, what do we do? So yeah. But this film, though, does make it up for it in the end. Now, those who have seen the end, oh man, it's 20 minutes of the, like, cinematic bliss. It's just, oh. I'm not gonna spoil it, but man, it was just like, it was one of those things I was like, either really just expecting it or is the best surprise ever. But man, the ending of this film is just, oh. Also, there's this running gag, I think it was called Mosasaurus. You see it in all the trailers. It's the giant, like, sharkosaur, the giant, Gatorsaurus that that eats the shark. That's sort of a bit of a running... It's almost a bit of a running gag, really. But it's pretty good. I think it was called Mosasaurus or something. I don't really know too much about dinosaurs, actually. Like names. I know T-Rex, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, Pterodactyl, Dragonzord, Mastodon! All my Power Rangers. And from Dino Thunder, maybe. But yeah, Jurassic World is enjoyable. It's a fun action film. It is very much more of a monster film than a Jurassic Park film. Also, it was a brilliant move to ignore The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. they're not the worst ever, but they're just. Um, I also like some funny little throwbacks to Jurassic Park as well. This one guy has a T-shirt. It's just like, oh, it cost me like $150 off eBay or something, some scalper. Um, but yeah, there's no mention of any of the other characters actually. John Hammond. Yeah, you see like statues of him, but like, no mention of no mention of. There's a couple mentions of Alan Grant. No mention of Ellie Slater, Ian Malcolm. Yeah, it's just like, that's or the other, the two kids, but whatever. But yeah, I give Jurassic Park a 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable, but not as I guess gripping as maybe the first Jurassic Park. And visually, it looks great, and the characters I think are good to an extent. Um, Bryce Dallas Howard I think is great. What was that? Joss Whedon made a comment on a clip. It's like, oh, it's 70s era sexist. I'm like, yes, because in a movie about dinosaurs, I expect the most fully realistic portrayals of women in a movie about genetically altered dinosaurs. I'm not saying he's wrong. It's just like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, she's a good. I think she kind of steals the show for me, particularly at the end. And god damn, is she beautiful. That's all I had to say. Tell me what you thought about Jurassic World. See you guys later.